His name is Darlington Smart, aka D Smart. Darlington, welcome to the Catalyst.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Yeah, you are now in Canada, right? You're doing a whole lot of stuff, not just music, but other creative stuff. You do comedy, and you're also venturing into movie production. Can you walk us through how it all started?
Sure. I'll be happy to. I moved to Canada in 2023, and it's been a very grace-filled journey. Grace-filled because all I can say is God's God has just been the one calling the shots, directing my path and my movement. Before I came here, I've always been an artist, singer, done a couple contents here and there, one or two movies and stuff. But when I got here, I didn't stop. I just continued in that same might. Recorded a couple songs, both here and back home. Then started doing some music videos. Then I landed on The Abandons, which is a Netflix original, which I happened to play some of the. I played a role as what was it called again? Emila, because it's an ancient movie, right? And after that, I organized a live concert, which gathered a couple of people here in Calgary.
I was one of the concerts.
You were in attendance. So after the live concert, right now I'm working on a short film, which we'll be shooting sometime in the year. So like I said, all I can say is a movement that has been powered by grace, nothing.
Yeah. Obviously, the talent is there, and I can testify to it because I've seen it, right?
Yeah.
But at what point did music become lifestyle to you? At what point did it become the main stream to your creative ability?
Yeah. So for me, music has always been my passion. It has always been my calling, I would say, because that's one thing I know I can do for a lifetime and be happy doing it. Because I believe that a lot of us do certain things as a job. Some of us do certain things, to make ends meet, different kinds of hustles here and there, right? But there's this thing that God has put inside of you as a talent that you do effortlessly.
And that's music.
That you do, for me, is music. For you, it might be something else. For some people, it's carpentry. For some others, it's making clothes. For some others, it's how to dress,
Right.
For me, it has always been music. And I started at a very young age and started, creating creating songs, recording, shooting videos. I've always been in front of people.
That's good.
I used to tell people that I can sit with just one person and be extremely shy, but I can stand in front of a 1,000 people and not shy.
That's completely the opposite.
Complex, right?
A lot of people.
Yeah, so
it's different.
It's different. For some people, in front of one person, they are 100% bold and they can do everything, talk. But when they stand in front of a crowd, they start sweating. But for me, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's how you know that you actually created for this.
That's good. So for someone like me who have stage fright, right now, I have a little bit of nervousness going on because this is the first big interview that I'm actually having as someone who is starting out, right? So, do you have any advice to people who have a stage fright? What would be a kind of trick to overcome that?
Well, honestly, there's no trick. There's no trick. The only thing I can say is I tell myself anytime I'm given the mic that there is a reason why I'm the one standing with the mic and every other person is there listening to me or praising with me or worshiping with me or watching me perform. There's a reason why I'm the one standing on the stage, on the platform. And the only reason is because I have practiced. The only reason is because I am prepared. There is something that I've put in time to do that these other people probably have not done. So one thing you can tell yourself whenever you have that stage fright is once you're prepared, once you're good to go, I mean, just do what you practiced, right? And some people say look at their foreheads, don't look at their eyes. I don't believe in all those. I look at their eyes.
Don't look at their eyes.
Yeah,
look somewhere in between.
Look at their.
Look for something to focus your attention on.
You know, things like that. I look at their eyes. If you want to be an actor, you have to learn how to look into people's eyes.
That's great.
And be able to actually communicate. That's the way you feed off people's emotions. So, yeah. The only advice I would give to anyone, like if you're frightened, just know that you're prepared for this. You worked for this.
Yeah, you want this.
You deserve this.
Yeah.
So just do it.
Okay. Let's zoom into music a little bit. I remember that hit song, Pikin. You know, it was special. Like myself, I had it on my phone as a ringtone. You know, those days. For a song to be a ringtone, it means that it's number. Yeah, exactly. It's the bomb, right? So a lot of people shared it, right? So it was good. Like I saw the creativity behind it. I saw the message behind it as well, right? But you know, when you hear someone who is so talented like that, you would like to hear more from them, right? But with that song, after that moment, it seems like you vanished. You disappeared from everybody, from the public side, right? So what was that? Were you taking a break, or was just life happening, or something else?
Well, there's a story behind Pikin. So first of all, when I worked on Pikin, I wasn't an artist. I wasn't like a performing artist at that point. So I started my music. One of the people here in this room knows how I really started, Oscar. He was there from the very beginning when I started learning how to play the drums with a boy called Acho back in Port Harcourt City. We used to just play drums, and that was all we knew. We wanted to play in front of the church. That was our goal. Eventually, I grew into becoming a music director, a choir leader, and all that. Long story short, I bought some small computer studio equipment. Oscar was the first artist that recorded in my studio.
Okay.
Because he was my friend.
Interesting.
A couple. So at the point where Pikin was released, I wasn't thinking about performing as an artist. I just wanted to create. I was just creating random things. I was experimenting with sound, with songs. So I wasn't really prepared. I wasn't ready for showbiz. I wasn't ready for fame. I wasn't ready for things like that. So I just created that sound, and a DJ came to my studio and said, "Hey, I love this thing you were playing with a baby voice," because I was just doing, "I want to drink Monster," you know?
Voice.
Yeah, and he was like, "What is this? Just give it to me. Let me play it on radio."
Yeah, wow, just like that.
Just like that. So he took it, and you know, DJ Cool, he's dead now. You know, he went to the to Ray Power, where he was his radio station, and started playing it. And people were calling and requesting for the song.
Wow.
And you know, before I knew it, I didn't have a car then. So I entered the bus. I was sitting at the back of the bus. Somebody's phone rings, and I hear, "Mommy, I want to drink Monster." I was like, "What's going on here?" The guy picked up the call. "Hello," and talked. And when he was done, I said, "Sorry, where did you get that song?" He said, "My brother, the song is the song that is raining now. I went to Garrison, they put it in my phone, and blah, blah, blah." I said, "I'm the one that sang that song." It's like, come on, get that friend. Yeah, you sang
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Who are you? So, he didn't believe me when I told him I'm the one that sang that. He said, no, don't say that. And before I knew it, the song went viral. The song was
Yeah,
so. My
yeah.
point is, I wasn't ready for performing, like to be an artist. I just wanted to produce songs, make money, and all that. So by the time I was ready to kind of, start getting into showbiz, another narrative is I've always been a church boy, and Pikin is somewhat a gospel song, but a lot of people don't even know. They thought it was a secular music. So they were inviting me to secular places to come perform. And because I'm a choir boy, there are just a lot of things I couldn't do.
Yeah.
So the expectations were so high. People wanted me to come perform in clubs. People wanted me to come and do certain things I couldn't do. So, long story short, it's not like I eloped or left the face of the earth. It's just that I didn't do a follow-up for Pikin because that was not like where I was headed. I was still recording gospel songs, but they were not going as viral as Pikin went.
Yeah. Okay.
At some point, I even went secular and started singing secular music. But by that time, there wasn't anything there for me. I've always been a church boy. God has always wanted me to be a gospel singer. So
that's great. And the one thing that is unique to your music is that, like you mentioned, it was not meant to be a secular song, but a lot of people see it as a secular song, right? So one thing that makes your music unique is that both sides can relate. Like you have something that stays in the balance. If you're into secular, you can enjoy it, right? If you're into gospel, you can also enjoy all in that same song. I've seen a lot of other stuff other song that you did that are like that, right? Okay, so now you are in Canada. What changed?
Well, all I would say that has changed so far is my location. Because I am the same person, same message, same attitude, same push, a lot of people are saying, hey, how come you're just like less than 2 years or 3 years or what? I'm not even up to, I don't know. I'm up to 3 years yet? Like 2 years plus.
2 years plus.
Yeah. And you have already shot 2 music videos. You've done a live concert. You're doing a short film. You've been on Netflix movies, like 3 Netflix movies, like 2 or 3 other Canadian original movies like Billy the Kid. What's it called?
Wow.
I've been on Billy the Kid. I've been on Heartland, season 18.
Wow.
I've been on a couple of movies, right? And how just in less than 3 years.
That's great.
And I'm like, hey, it's just that grace that God has given to you that you kind of stand out wherever you go, and you're fearless. You just keep doing what you know how to do best.
I mean, what you are doing, like you made it sounds like it's not easy. I mean, a lot of people, like some of us have been here way longer, right? We are not. I know that there are people here that didn't know that is actually a part for them in the movie industry. So, but someone just came from Nigeria within a few years is already everywhere. Is doing music video, doing concert, and that's great. So what did you have to unlearn to survive here? Because if you come from Nigeria to this place, the culture is definitely different, right? So what did you have to navigate to survive, to get into these positions and this project that you just described?
One thing I can say for sure is it's networking, and being able to take out every I don't want to use the word pride, but I want to say don't think you know it all, right? Ask questions. Be open to connect and to network with people. For me, I will still channel it to grace. It's just grace. It's not because I know anything special. It's just because it's also because I know what I'm looking for, right? I know what I'm looking for. I know that I want to grow. I know I want to be an entertainment hub, right? I know that's my goal.
Yeah.
An entertainment hub is not just music, but movies, but content, but everything that has to do with showbiz and entertainment. I want to be able to be that person who will be able to, carry that embodiment. So when I got here, one of the things I did for sure was to connect with like minds, right? And to forget the fact that I was whatsoever in Nigeria, and I started from the grassroots. I started from the bottom. A lot of people, when they come here, they want to say, "Oh, I'm a celebrity back home," and these. I don't
It doesn't work
introduce.
here.
No, I don't introduce myself like that. People on their own find out.
Yeah.
And they come, bro, how come you have XYZ amount of followers? There
Yeah.
has to be something about you.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's just me. I'm like, no, 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 no. Someone told me that you are a big deal in Nigeria. I'm like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't go about telling people, hey, I'm a big celebrity back home. I am this. No, no, no. I start from the bottom.
Yeah, it's good to be humble.
Yeah, I
right?
start from the bottom. I play the menial roles. Whatever you give me to do, I do it because once you get your foot on the door, it's opportunity that meets preparation. That's what brings about success, right? When you are prepared, you meet with good opportunity,
Yeah.
then you become successful.
The two of them match together.
But if you're not prepared and the opportunity
Yeah.
is put in front of you,
Exactly,
you
yeah.
blow it.
Yeah, that's the same thing I try to like explain to my younger ones back home, right? Opportunity might come, like, but when it does come, are you ready to
Good.
grab it, right? So that's a different thing. Okay, so was there a moment when you questioned your move to this place?
Of course. Of course. Of course. As a matter of fact, every moment I've been questioning my move to this place. Yeah, to some people they're like, "Hey, you're doing so well, blah blah blah. Oh God, you're there and all." I'm in my head. I feel like, "Hey, are you sure this was the right move to make?" Because to me, yes, I was doing a lot better than I am doing right now back home. So why did I come here to start afresh? Why did I come here to start the entire thing again, like building all over again? So there are lots of times I've had to question this move if it's the best, but when I think about it again and again, I have always believed it's the best move that I made. Because at this time, what am I doing? I am in a global stage, competing globally. I am not a local champion anymore. So it's no longer about Africa. It's about me now, an African in a global space telling the African story.
That's great.
Do you
That's
understand?
great.
So
That's
if I'm
what we like to hear.
creating movies, I'm creating movies that is telling the African story.
Nice.
I'm creating movies that is going to be creating opportunities for my African people. I'm building capacity so that I can go back home and become the light, right? So when I look back and I see the journey and I see all I left to come here and start afresh, that is what I keep telling myself that is worthwhile. That is the reason why I feel this move was the best move that I ever made.
Okay, that's great. So, how would you describe the Nigerian music space that you came from compared to what is obtainable here?
Honestly, Nigerian music space is very, very big. Right here, I would say the music here, I mean, there are big artists, of course, doing really good. I mean, secularly in gospel as well. But when you talk about mainstream artists in Nigeria that are doing like major things all over the world, it's uncomparable. is uncomparable. So at the top of my head, I actually feel like Nigerian artists are more like doing a lot more global things right now. Afrobeat, even the gospel guys, like they are
They're
all
not doing bad
over the
either.
world,
Yeah.
all over the world doing big things. However, right here, there are still people doing good, still people doing great, but because of the disconnect from the type of music that is being celebrated here, it takes a longer time for you as an African to come and, bring your kind of music and have a major breakthrough.
Yeah, yeah.
And for you to have a breakthrough here, breakthrough is not when you're invited to a lot of African. For me, like, it's not just about singing in African churches, going to one redeem, or performing in African gatherings. I mean, if that's my goal, then I've already made it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's about creating music that can transcend both the African culture
Yeah.
and the Western culture, right?
Yeah,
And for you
I
to be
see
able to
that.
get into that space, it takes a longer time.
It takes time. Yeah.
There's a difference between somebody that wakes up in the morning and is going from Port Harcourt to Aba, and somebody that wakes up in the morning and is going from Port Harcourt to the
Sokoto.
US.
Okay.
Both of them will start at the same time. The guy going to Aba will get there and say, "Oh, I've arrived. I've made it. Everything is fine."
Yeah,
The guy going to the US is still on his way.
Yeah, it's not.
He has not even left the airport.
Yeah.
He's still packing his bag. So there's a process. When you're targeting a bigger audience, you have to dig deeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Do you think that location still determines success?
No. You can be anywhere in the
Successful
world.
anywhere in the world.
The world is a global village right now, especially.
So if you stayed in your village,
you can make it. There are people who are in the back of Nigeria that are creating content with their phones, and all over the world
they're making it. Yeah. Okay. So why Calgary? Why did you choose Calgary and not bigger cities like Toronto, Vancouver? Because with your experience and with what you've built in Nigeria, right? I would think that someone in your mode, right? And consider where you are now, at the level where you are now, I will feel that someone in your mode who is making that move from Nigeria would rather go to places where there is, bigger stage, right? Like Toronto or Vancouver. So why Calgary?
Yeah, honestly, first of all, when I wanted to leave Nigeria, my visas, work permit, everything was actually to Manitoba. We were supposed to land in Manitoba, but
that's even lower than Calgary.
Now, when you're in Nigeria, you just want to get out first.
Yeah, exactly.
So wherever you get, your move to, you. So we got Manitoba, right? But while I was preparing to, hey, I want to come to Canada, Oscar again, my friend, he's in Calgary.
That makes sense.
Oscar has been a support system for us. So he said, hey, if you guys come here, it's a lot better than that Manitoba you want to go. Bro, you actually freeze to death there. I was like, okay, Calgary it is. So soft landing, he helped us settle and everything.
No disrespect to Manitoba.
No disrespect to Manitoba. I love Manitoba. In fact, I have a lot of family and friends there.
Yeah, a lot of people I know
we moved to Calgary, and we kind of settled here. And like I said, for me, I'm in Canada. That's all that matters, right? Calgary has even been a more blessing to me. I don't know what would have happened if I went to Manitoba or went to Vancouver or Toronto. But one thing for sure is, no matter where you are, like I said before, no matter where you are, you can still do good. If you create your own opportunities, you can go and you can be global.
Yeah.
There are people that were born in Calgary, that started in Calgary, that are all over they're in Los Angeles now doing movies. Yeah. They are all over the place performing. So for me, it doesn't matter where I start. It's more about, where I'm comfortable, staying. That's it. So if I can have an agent in Vancouver, I can have an agent in Toronto. and I would still do big things. I can still go to Toronto, perform, and come back.
Yeah.
I can still go to New York.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
you can be anywhere, bro.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my next question is: you have the talent, to do mainstream, right? But you chose gospel. Why? Was it was it strategic decision or a calling?
Calling. It has always been calling for me. It's not there's no strategic thing about doing gospel. For me, gospel is not the music. Gospel music is not about business. If I wanted to do music business, I mean, I have done music business. I've been Two-Face Idibia's head of production. I worked with him for about 3 years, and I know what the kind of money, I know the kind of structures and everything that is there in the secular world when it comes to music, right? And if it was all about business for me, music business, I won't be doing gospel music. So gospel music for me is about calling, it's about purpose. That's it.
Did you ever feel that you have to dilute your message to make it?
No. I don't ever feel like I need to dilute my message to make it. Like you rightly said at the beginning of this interview, you said there's a way I create my music that is actually appealing to both the secular and the gospel guys. That has always been me. I believe that the gospel is not just about Jesus came, died for you, and all that and all that. There's a lot more about the message, the gospel, right? Christ came all the way from heaven because he loved humanity and he gave his life for us. That is the gospel. So we can create music that has the Christian community dancing. We can create music that talks about love. We can create music that talks about anything. It just depends on where we're coming from. So for me, it's beyond trying to please any sector. Say, oh, I want to create a music that is for the secular world. I want to create a music for the gospel. God gives inspiration, and whenever he inspires you, you create that music the way he inspires you to create it, and leave the rest. But for me, I don't expect anything. I'm not waiting for my music to become, if it goes and becomes a global hit, thank God. But hey, is this what God called me to do? Yes. Then I'm going to do it.
Okay.
So it's not about who, and I'm not creating music for the people that would just enjoy the music. I'm creating music that will stay the test of time, so that even after I'm gone, people can still play the music and can still be blessed playing it. Yeah.
So you are not just releasing music, right? You are building something. So what does ownership mean to you? Brand and ownership mean to you? Is it very
Everything.
important, or
Everything? Brand and ownership is everything. You know, it's still about legacy, right? So are you creating music that people are just going to sing after one year at most and they forget it? No. You know, you're creating music that can last the test of time. So ownership is everything.
It's very important. So do you think that African creatives abroad undersell themselves?
That's a deep one. Honestly, I wouldn't say we undersell ourselves. I would only say we don't know how much value, some of us don't know how much value we carry, right? Some of us don't know that our authenticity, our originality is what makes us special. Some of us try to sound Western. Some of us try to do it in a certain way because, oh, this is how it's trending here.
To be accepted.
To be accepted. But no.
To be cool.
But for you to be original, you have to do you.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. You know, you have to do you. If you don't do you, you will be a second class every day.
That's right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So there is this conversation about Africans not helping each other abroad. Did you have that kind of experience or no?
Well, honestly, one thing I can say for sure is I've seen a lot of Africans help Africans. As a matter of fact, the first week I landed here, I think the first day we were still in the Airbnb. When I went to Shoppers Drug Mart, I met an African woman there who used all her PC points to pay for the things I bought. She didn't even know me from anywhere, right? There are a lot of help I've got to enjoy. I've seen people sharing, hey, go to so store, you will see pepper for $10.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
the pepper carton of pepper we buy for maybe $30. Oh, it's now $10. Go to so store, you will see it there, and things like that. One thing I would say is most of us Africans, we have this entitlement mentality that, hey, it's my right. Somebody's supposed to do this for me. When you have an entitlement mentality, that's when you feel like nobody's helping, nobody's coming through for me. No, you don't have to be entitled.
Yeah, exactly.
If anybody wants to help you, is their choice to, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to. If they do, good. If they don't, good and fine.
Yeah.
You know, here everyone is busy. Everyone is
Everybody's
working.
busy, yeah.
Everyone is earning $1. Everyone is pretty much layered out on the same frequency because at most somebody is earning $30. The other person is earning 21 or 25. But everybody is earning something. Everybody's working. Everybody's busy.
Yeah.
Everybody's tired.
That's right, because the thing is, I mean, some people will feel that, in Africa, back home in Africa, you know, we help each other, right? But once we come here, we want to live like the Westerners, right? Whereby everybody's so individualistic, right? What you describe is that, and which is what I believe as well, right? The culture is different, right?
Absolutely.
People have responsibilities.
Oh,
like
bro.
if
Bills.
they don't, the kind of responsibilities that, I mean, I'm not saying that we cannot help each other though. Like I am actually a proponent of community, right? Community support, collaboration, helping each other and stuff like that, right? But you know, I understand that there's some people, you know, like take it too far, right? It depends, right? Like help can come in different forms, right?
True.
When somebody says, okay, can you help me? I'm moving, you know, today. Can you please give me a hand? You know, stuff like that is something maybe he could have, some people can afford it to just hire movers, right? But because they feel like they're entitled to you as their friend, right? They feel like they're going to inconvenience you in order to make that move happen, right? Again, it's all about understanding the balance, right? And the not having that too much expectation, and also respecting the other
for me, if you're moving, if today you're moving to a new home and you say, hey bro, I'm moving on Tuesday, and honestly, if I'm not working on Tuesday and I'm free, it's not an inconvenience to me. It's not. I mean, when I was moving, Oscar came, helped, lifted things for me. Right? I didn't feel a certain way to call him or call on him to help, right? If he needs help in any way, hey, I'm doing so thing, I'm having a shoot or something. Yeah. Can you show up at, bro?
Yeah, that's community. Yeah, that's good.
That's help. But my point is, there are people who feel like it is their right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you must do it. If you don't do it, then they feel like you are not helping. You're not a team player. You're not. No. People are hustling. People are working. People are trying to make ends meet.
Sometimes the time is not right.
It's not right. Yeah. If it's right and they decide not to do it, well, it's up to them. And the other thing I want to say is, things are different here from how it is back home. Yeah. Bro, I can decide back home to play around.
Because you got the time
and joke and do whatever and take certain risks that I will not take here. Because here, every month, I have to pay a lot of bills. And if I don't meet up, if I don't meet up with those bills every month, myself, my family, everyone, we're going to sleep on the street. Do you get?
Yeah.
But back home, I pay yearly, right? My home is yearly.
Secured.
Everything is fine. So you can pretty much take certain risk for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. You can expect something to materialize and they will actually materialize. Then you can pay ahead for another 1 year and still chill. But here it's not like that. So everybody is on a clock. So if anybody gives you their time, anybody gives you their whatever,
it means a
value
lot.
it.
It means time is money.
Value.
When they say time is money, right?
Yeah.
Like it has more meaning to me here than in Nigeria, because in Nigeria we don't value time that much, right? And when people give you their time, you don't have that. You don't see it
as valuable as it is
valuable
here.
asset. Yeah, you just see it as somebody is supposed to give you a help that they are supposed to give you, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so do you feel more Nigerian here than when you were back home in Nigeria?
Oh yeah.
You feel more Nigerian?
Oh,
here?
brotherly, I feel Nigerian everywhere. Like the way I feel Nigerian here is I keep my original self. I don't try to pretend. I don't try to turn into what I'm not.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
Great.
I keep my original self. I try as much as possible. Anytime I can wear my native to wear. It's just that the weather will not allow me to wear my, Oh my God. So yeah, you're Nigerian. The Nigerian blood is there. You can't, you can't take it out of me.
But some people try though. Some people
you can't take me out of it as well.
Okay. Some people try to do that. Some people try to, okay, now I'm now in this new environment, new culture. To actually fit in, I have to change my accent. I have to change a whole lot of stuff. I have to go outside of my identity to be accepted.
Well, I see it both ways. I think it's we have to weigh it honestly. For instance, I talked about a short film I'm doing. I said I'm starting the short film in Nigeria, so it's scene happening in Nigeria before it moves here. That scene happening in Nigeria, we're actually going to be speaking in Nigerian language, Igbo.
Oh,
so we're not speaking English in Nigeria.
Is this the Paranoia or Abandoned?
Yeah, the same Paranoia movie. We might be changing the title, by the way. Okay. So that movie, we're starting in Nigeria, and they're speaking Igbo there. Now, but when we come here, we start speaking English, right? Now, the thing is, English is the white man's language, as we call it. But it is the common language that everyone uses to communicate, even back home.
Yeah.
Right? And there is nothing wrong with you being able to speak sound English. But where I have a problem with it is when people are trying so hard to form what they are not.
Yeah.
Look, you don't have to sound a certain way for you to communicate your English. You can say your English the way you say it, and they will understand.
Yeah, just
you don't have to
pronounce words properly.
You don't have to change it to some.
Yeah.
So and there are people who that if you don't sound like that, they will not understand you. So it's more for me. I work with a lot of white people. And when I talk with them,
they understand you.
They understand. Some of them don't get it when I speak like this. So I actually have to go bring myself to their level. And I say, hey, how you doing? And they go, I'm good. Okay, so what exactly do you want me to do today? And he's like, yeah.
That's the way to go, man.
Communicate with them on their frequency as long as you're able to do it. If you're not able to do it, don't kill yourself.
Yeah, I feel like what's important is to pronounce words clearly. So that people can understand you, right? Yep. Every other thing is secondary, right? If you use your African accent,
themselves have accents.
Exactly, that's an accent. Yeah.
Even they themselves have accents. There are some of them who cannot speak English.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are lots of them, North Americans, who cannot speak English. Yeah. So English even is not their language. They are learning English too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. So what did Nigeria give you that Canada can never give you?
oh man,
That's a tricky one, eh?
oh my god, obono soup.
Or you can buy that in African stores. There are African stores everywhere now. You can buy that from African
Honestly,
store, right?
there is something I feel like is missing here, and that's the ability to actually be yourself 100%. Like there is a culture here. There's a way people behave here that you have to kind of, learn.
Yeah, so you always adjusting.
You have to adjust. Like back home, you can meet a random person and start a conversation.
Yeah.
And everything is fine. You can see somebody on the street and just say, "Hey, how are you? Good afternoon." And everybody like, "Afternoon, are you there now?"
Yeah.
You don't know yourselves anywhere, but you try it here. They look at you like, what's wrong with this guy?
Is this guy okay?
That's a weirdo. That's a weirdo.
Yeah.
They just, that is just a cultural shock for some of us. And that's why a lot of African men come here and get into a lot of trouble. Yeah. A lot of African people come here, not just men, people come here and get into a lot of trouble. Yeah. They just come with that Nigerian energy, that ginger, everything. Initially, when I came here, Oscar, I would call his name again, saved me from a lot of trouble. Yeah. So, bro, we don't talk like that. Yeah. We don't talk like that. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
You will be misinterpreted.
Yeah. So, most of those things are things I know I definitely miss that back home, because back home you can 100% be yourself. You can flex, you can do certain you can go out and buy pure water on the street, buy gala, you can stand on the road and chew your gala, nobody will judge you. Yeah. You can be pressed and you stand somewhere, bring out your something and
that's the part, that's another part, right? There's other parts about Nigeria that me personally I miss, right? For example, you just come back from work in the evening, 6, 7 p.m. You have the shower. You can come out on the street and hang out with the boys.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, you don't need to. Need to go to downtown.
No,
you don't need to drive anywhere.
No.
There's fun everywhere. Everywhere
is just. It's just. We used to go and eat fish. Just chill out some night and
I think that's one thing I personally miss. Right. That evening group.
Yeah, that community. That community culture is not so much here. It's not like it's
better now.
It's not like it's not safe. Here. It's here, but it's not accessible as much as. Another thing is, fun is almost free back home. Like you can, a lot of things you can do for free. Here you have to pay. Yeah. You have to take a trip. There's just so much, Yeah.
That's true. So how does your culture show up in your music?
Culture show up in my music. Well, my culture is. I actually think I'm a product of my culture. Like culture is not something you can separate from me, right? My culture is me. So my culture is my music. I create music that is not just. In my language, my culture shows. In the way I write my song, my culture shows. In the beats that I use for my song, my culture. So it's pretty much everywhere. Yeah. Okay. Pretty much everywhere.
I know that when people look at you, they will see progress. They will see success, right? But to you, what does progress looks like to you? Would you say that over these past 3 years now that you've been in Canada, would you say that it's a progress for you?
Absolutely. For me, success is, getting to your God-given goal, that thing that God has created you for. Are you a step closer to it? If you're not a step closer to the destination that God has, made you for, then you are walking in the wrong direction. Yeah. You're not making any progress. Yeah. For me, I know what God has called me for. I know what I am created to do. A lot of people are still trying to find their path in life. For me, I think I found my path. I know what I'm headed for. And as long as I take a step towards that path,
Yeah.
I always know that
Feel
I'm
like,
making
yeah, okay.
progress.
That's good.
Sometimes, of course, I'm human. Sometimes I feel like the weight of the world is on me. Like there's just so much that I am yet to achieve, But one thing that I always remember is that just take a step towards the right direction every day. And one day you'll get to your destination.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Do you feel that you could have been more successful than you are?
How do you mean?
Like music wise?
Well, honestly, there is always a bigger side to every story, right? There's always a bigger side. I mean, I can definitely be more successful than I am. There's a lot more to cover. There is a lot more to cover. I haven't gotten to my destination yet. So the day I say I don't feel like I can be more successful is the day I stop growing.
Yeah.
In fact, I have not started yet.
They also say that there is always room for improvement.
I haven't even started yet. Like I have not done 20% of what I'm called here to do. So I know that there is a lot more room for me to improve. There's a lot more that I need to do.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what do you think people are getting wrong about your journey? What are people getting wrong?
Well, honestly, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care what people get wrong about my journey, because my journey is my journey, and everyone should pretty much mind their journey. Because, like I said, if I'm going to Aba, I would have gotten to my destination. But because I'm going to a further journey, all I have to do is just focus and keep going. People can pretty much think whatever they want to think and judge as much as they want. The only scale that matters to me in my life is the scale that God has used to, God's scale for me might be that he wants me to create music that will affect a certain kind of people, or do something that will be a blessing to just maybe one person in the entire world. God might create you to change the life of one person. And once you do that, you have lived. You have lived God's purpose for your life. So what any man is thinking does not count. The man's judgment, man's scale does not count. It does not count. What counts for me is the scale that God has used to measure my journey. Right. So if I get to my destination according to God's plan, I have made it in life.
Because I know that some people will wonder, oh, this guy at some point was doing secular music, and then he switched to gospel, right? Because from what my own personal observation, I usually see the opposite direction. Like I see the movements the opposite direction, right? You see people who they started from the church, gospel music, and suddenly they switch to secular stuff because they think that's where the money is. But I think like you have answered the question somehow, because you said it was more of a calling to you, right? Just following your dreams.
So I did secular music for a while, and I saw that I wasn't getting fulfilled there. That's not what I'm called to do. I created a lot of secular songs I never released. I shot a secular video in Port Harcourt. I spent a lot of money that I didn't have.
What does that video look like?
A Bobby. The song was big, but I shot the video and I couldn't drop it. I couldn't release the video.
Wow.
Because I knew this was not my identity. This was not me. I kept the video. And I recorded a lot of secular songs too. I couldn't drop them. I couldn't release them. So why do I keep wasting my time and doing what I'm not called to do? Just focus on what I'm called to do and just go for it. Right? So, yeah.
So the next question I have for you now is, if everything you are building works, what impact do you want them to have? What is the legacy and the impact that you want your works, the totality of your work? What kind of impact do you want them to have on people?
So I have this vision. It has always been clear in my head to bring about change to humanity, to bring about certain kind of change to humanity. So my music is to instill change. The movies.
What does change look like?
What change looks like is transferring from one kingdom to another. A lot of people do not know Christ. A lot of people do not know Jesus.
Okay.
They are wallowing in sin. I can preach here if you want me to.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And
go ahead, spill it.
I want to be able to create music that will be able to play in the secular world, and when people are actually dancing to this music and singing it, they are able to actually say, "Oh, if this not church, church sweet oh."
Yeah, that's good.
I want to create songs that secular people can dance to, but it can actually lead them into church, like bring them into. So that's why I create music that sounds secular, but they are not. It's intentional. It's a system that God kind of puts inside of me. I have never tempted God, bros. You better change. I was talking about a couple of things that happened, and the secular people loved the song even more than the Christian. Pikin, I want to drink. The secular people
and
loved,
not just that one.
A lot of songs that I have done that talks about that kind of corrects the ills in the society.
Societal ills.
Oga, way they walk. There are lots of songs like that. Even the movies I'm creating now are movies that are still correcting the ills in the society.
That's great.
So it's about making a change. For me, music, movies, show business is not just about exciting people and making them happy, but it's about creating a change. So if I create a movie and the movie has no message, I have failed. If I make a song and the song has no message,
I see that. I believe you.
Failed.
Because I see that you're trying to, everything that you do, everything that you put out there seems to be passing a message, right?
Yeah.
You did, I watched one about what is going on in Nigeria, the terrorism going on in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
And you also made one inspirational song, I think it was after COVID or during COVID that talked about how the churches are empty, nothing really matters anymore because those are the kind of stuff that actually inspire people, and they help them to turn around from the wrong path, right? So that's very, very good. Now I'm going to throw a few questions at you.
This is right.
Canada or Nigeria? Where did you find yourself?
Nigeria.
Okay. Faith or fame?
Faith.
Talent or discipline?
Discipline.
Community or independence?
Community.
What's your morning routine? What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
I'm going to lie. I pray.
Oh, wait.
That's a lie.
Sure, okay. The next one says, one truth Africans in the diaspora don't like to admit.
That we are the minorities.
Okay. I think everybody should know that. The statistics are there.
Yeah, but they always think that we're here to we're too much, we're taking over, we're the minority.
So what advice would you give to young and upcoming artists in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, just keep grinding.
And here as well.
Yeah, keep grinding, keep doing it, keep showing up, don't stop, wake up, show up, and don't stop.
You make it sound easy though, but like what if someone drops a song and nothing happens?
Don't stop. The only time you fail is when you give up. And that is the truth. Because you never can tell the particular push that is going to change your life, change your career. I can tell you from experience, there is no day you create a song that you know that this is the hit song. Every song you create, before you put it out, you are excited. You know that you love the song, but it just put it in the front of people and hope for the best. You understand? So the day you stop pushing, the day you stop trying, that is the day you fail.
That's great. Okay, that's the last question I have, but finally we made it. But before I let you go though, I want you to tell, our community here and our community back home in Nigeria, like, Nigerians, what you are doing, what they should be looking out for from you. What's the next big thing, basically?
Yeah, sure. So I'm working on a short film. I'm not going to tell you the story of the short film, but it's a black man's story. It's a black man's nightmare. It's a black man's nightmare. And we're telling the story from our perspective and trying to create narratives so that people all over the world will actually know that there is a lot of evil going on, things happening that people are not aware of, people are oblivious to. So that is one thing I'm working on. The other thing I'm working on is to also create a platform here in Calgary where people can actually come, do contents and all that. I want to call it like House of Contents or whatever. But I just want to create a place where people can come do content. But it's still
like what kind of contents?
Bro, contents like
anything.
This, green screen, studio, just a content house. You can come there, shoot a movie, whatever. Like we want to put together like gears and all that. It's in the works. There's just a lot of things I want to do. But hey, the pressing one right now is the short film that I'm working on, and of course I'll keep releasing music. I won't stop.
Great.
Yeah,
we'll be looking forward to it. And that's the end of our interview today. Thank you very much.
Yeah.